How would you define a successful show? Is it purely just off analytics? We sort of talked about this already, but like, or even just like specifically the debate. Like, how would you define that something has gone successfully?
That's to who will tell you, who will look at analytics, who will look at subscriber count. There are people who religiously, at the end of either putting a video up or doing a live stream, they'll have all of these metrics up, looking at how did this do? Did I lose subscribers when I do this? I don't do that. Like, I look at that stuff because I find it interesting. To me, I can if I learn something in a stream that I didn't know prior, that's a success for me. If somebody's mind's changed that maybe had the wrong idea, or by the end of it, we're able to say, "Wow, I could have. That makes sense. I need to look more into that." That's a win. When you're able to take people that are at their core completely opposites. For example, Sargon and Brittany Simon could not be furthest away from personality, their beliefs, everything is completely into the spectrum. When we went off the air with that show, we sat in the call for about an hour and a half after the show ended, them just talking and having a conversation. And they left there having different opinions about each other than they would have had prior to that. And so that, I think, moves people for. See, for some reason, people, I think, as a whole, and whether it's due to social media or whatever the case is, we've forgotten somewhere along the way how to talk about things that we don't agree with. We've learned to go and hunker down in our different groups on extreme ends of the spectrum. Right, left, alt-right, Antifa, feminists, and the MGTOW crew. They go to these echo chambers, and what that does is they fester and they get angrier and angrier, and they've forgotten that in order to advance society forward, you have to be able to communicate and talk and say, "Hey, I understand that you have this belief. I don't agree with it, and that's okay. But how can we move forward?" And that's what we do most of our time for this show. It's setting up talks between person who believes A and person who believes B, and you're kind of the middleman between those people, all the way leading up to the event, and sometimes after. So it's a lot of like, okay, here's the topic that we're thinking of. What do you think? And then they'll give you their thoughts, and you have to go to the other side. And being that middle person, I think it has a lot of benefits, because you're able to see, okay, I have been working closely with Sargon. I've been working closely with Brittany, off camera and privately. They're both really good people. They're as respectful as can be. They're nice. So I kind of like both of these people. So now I'm going to be more open to not shutting one out because I don't agree with a couple points. Instead of throwing out everything that one person has to say, throw out the bad stuff and keep the good stuff. And the good stuff that you find, have a conversation with them about it and see if you can't push that forward. And I think anytime that you can do that, then that's definitely a win.
Yeah, it's funny. He exactly said this. I was thinking of three things that as a success to me, and he named two of them, like right off the bat. I firmly think that if some people can change their minds, people learn something. Huge win. And then just the people that just thank you for having a good show. When somebody says, "Hey, you know what? This was good. Thank you for having these guests on. Thank you for bringing these things together." That means something to me, because I don't see a lot of that on other videos. I watch things on YouTube. I see people criticizing the video. I see people talking about the video, but I don't see people going, "You know what? Hey, you know what? Thank you for making this happen." And yet I think we get that pretty much every video almost anymore. And that, to me, people not only want to watch it, but they know they're getting something. They're just not finding something somewhere else, and that feels that niche for them. but yeah, I think the key thing is bringing people together that normally you wouldn't see together. Like for example, we had along with Brittany. There's just nothing that I thought that I would even get along with her. One of her good friends, she lives 15 minutes from me. We go to lunch every so often. We hang out. So I mean, and we enjoy talking to each other. So you never know what happens with people. You see them in a specific way. You hear what they have to say. You see their tweets and things of that nature, and you kind of get this impression, hey, you know what? Yeah, they may not agree with me on certain things, and I probably won't like them. And find out, hey, you know what? We may not agree on certain things, but we can have a discussion about that.